Year 7, we were squeaky clean and fresh-faced as we walked through the big doors of high school into the unknown. Now, all these years later, we are preparing to walk through the same doors, but into a whole new unknown. Gone are the days where the big issues of life were calling a teacher mum or handing in an internal on time. Gone is the structure of the school day and the encouragement of teachers to get our assignments finished. Whether we're ready or not, and for most of us, I think the latter is true, it's time for us to move on. When I started the school in Year 7, I was eager to find my place amongst the new faces. And I think it was clear to everyone that I wasn't going to find my place amongst the cool kids. I was weird, and I had my twin sister Tanya at school with me, who was never going to allow me to hang out with her friends and possibly ruin her reputation. My most vivid memory from Year 7 is running around school with Rebecca Ed with leaves under our glasses resembling birds' beaks and squawking. I am so thankful that I've grown up since then, but I don't know if we can say the same about Rebecca. While I was very out there around my friends, I was probably received as quite shy by everyone else. I was too scared to talk to the big kids at school or even make eye contact with them. Tanya likes to reminisce about the person I was in Year 7 and ask herself, who would have thought that she would one day be head girl? Honestly, I think everyone who knew me back then asked themselves the same questions. The next year, in Year 8, I started to settle in a little bit more. The big scary high school, which made me feel like I was in the changing corridors of Hogwarts, started feeling familiar to me. I had a nice group of friends, and I even got a boyfriend. Matt Smith and I dated for a whole 5 months that year. I remember keeping count and giving him gifts each month for our anniversary. I'll always remember that relationship just because of the fact that he's going to be the most serious boyfriend I'll ever have. Yeah, I was going to make a big realisation in the following years. In Year 9, our classes were switched around a bit, so I found myself in a class with a whole lot of people I'd never really had much to do with. This included Hannah Dungy and Casey Van Cleef, who I'd always liked, but they were Tanya's friends and she'd never allowed me to actually hang with them. I remember thinking that I had to win them over. And I can happily say that I did. I don't know if they only accepted me as someone to laugh at or if they genuinely liked me back, but I honestly didn't care. Over the next few years, we grew closer and closer, and eventually Casey, Tanya and I were inseparable. Tanya had finally realised what was right in front of her eyes all along. I have a memory of one of our camps that year with Mr. Liddy, where we went rafting to these rocks of different heights so we could jump off them. We had to practice on the smallest rock to make sure that we could jump correctly and not injure ourselves. And then, once we could jump fine, we could move to the next size, and then the bravest could jump off the biggest rock. You see, I love these kinds of things, and I knew that even though I was scared, I just had to jump from the biggest rock. When I'd climbed my way to the top, I saw Mr. Liddy standing there at the edge, looking down while the instructor said to him, "If you're uncertain, don't jump, because you could get quite hurt." Mr. Liddy was uncertain, and he backed away from the edge, meaning it was now my turn. I remember jumping before I could change my mind, and then falling for what felt like forever. When I finally hit the water, it was so cold, I lost my breath. Then, when I started to swim away, I heard a big splash behind me, and I realised that Mr. Liddy had jumped too. He said to me afterwards that he was thinking to himself, if Moni can do it, then so can I. That was a good feeling. You're going to find yourself in scary moments like these throughout high school, where you're uncertain if you want to take the risk. But I think that Mr. Liddy would agree that it's worth it. And they say, a real loser is somebody that's so afraid of not winning, they don't even try. School for me was pretty relaxed in Year 10. I was being social and just having a lot of fun. After finally feeling like I'd found my place in high school, it was terrifying to make the realization that I was gay. And let me tell you, this is even hard for me to say now, years later, in front of strangers, because I don't know what everyone's political beliefs are, but back then the fear was so much worse. I didn't want to ruin the relationships I'd created, and I remember thinking to myself that I would never tell anyone. But it was something that was always on my mind, and I could tell that it was making me distant. That's when I knew I had to come out, but to my relief, my friends were great about it. I was also worried about coming out in a small town school, but I was pleasantly surprised because never once did I feel singled out by kids or teachers. I really was able to be myself, and this made me feel on top of the world. That's why returning to school the next year and falling into depression will never make sense to me. Okay, I know what you're all thinking. Here we go again, another gay, depressed kid. What's new? And I have to say, this is extremely awkward to talk about. Both of these things are viewed very negatively in our society, and I try to separate myself from these stereotypes because while these things are a part of me, I hate being reduced down to these factors. I just want to mention it today because it was such a huge part of my life, and I think that not including it would make this whole speech feel dishonest. So I don't know what caused my depression. I just remember the moment that I realised I didn't feel like myself anymore, and I knew that something was wrong. School for me in year 11 became very difficult. I actually fell asleep in classes at lunchtime on a regular basis because I didn't have the motivation or energy to stay awake. I also started to push away my friends. That whole year kind of seems like a gap in the timeline of my life. Looking back, I can see that my motivation to recover was the fact that I'd missed out on so much. I was sick of missing out. I started working really hard and I finished that year with an excellence endorsement. I am so glad I found my motivation because if I didn't, I could be standing here facing a future of working at New World with Casey my whole life. In year 12, I felt like I was starting from the start once again in every aspect. I had to remember how to be a normal person in society, and I had to remake friends with the people around me. I had to find my place once again. It was difficult to just get to where I'd previously been, but after feeling like I'd missed out on a whole year of my life, I had a new hunger to not let any opportunity slip by me. I decided I would throw myself at every opportunity I was given, and I applied for the position of arts prefect at school. I ended up with the role of head girl, which I never thought was something I could do, but here I am. This year has been difficult, but it's also been rewarding. I've learned to juggle commitments and large workloads. I've become confident speaking in formal situations. I've also had a lot of fun making prefect videos and really been a part of every aspect of school. It's all of these things that we've done at high school which have shaped the people we are. No matter where our journeys take us next, we'll always share the fact that we went to high school together. Sarah may still think that Invercargill is in Dunedin, and Daniel may still pronounce periphery, periphery. But I can definitely say Waimate High School has prepared us for our various different futures. Okay, so now it's time for me to give a few thank yous. Thank you to Ms. Harvey for being my learning advisory teacher and always making me feel like you cared for me. Except that one time this year when you forgot to give me a cake for my birthday. Thank you to my prefect team for being my best friends, and thank you for putting up with my shocking memory and lack of organisation skills. Kate, I need to give you a special shout out. I'm so lucky to be head girl alongside you. We balance each other out perfectly. You remind me what's going on day to day, and I proofread the things you write. You speak over the intercom for me, and I read the harder things in formal situations. We work well. I also need to give a shout out to my family. You're supportive of everything I do, and I couldn't ask for a better group of people to call mine. Thank you to my twin sister Tandia, who unfortunately can't be here because her prize giving is also currently happening. Thank you for being my best friend. I can't imagine myself getting through life without you. I also want to thank you for leaving Waimate High School to St Kevin's, because if you'd stayed here, there's a good chance I would have been head girl. I hope you've all cherished these precious moments we've spent together, because no matter how much you may want to in the future, you can't go back to high school. It's just the universal truth we have to face. Everything eventually ends. That is the day for us, the day we say our goodbyes. But as Woody the Pooh said, how lucky am I to have something that makes saying goodbye so hard. Thank you.